Often hailed as one of the most magnificent and historically significant waterways of antiquity, the Euphrates River has long been shrouded in mystery, legend, and divine symbolism. Stretching its course through millennia, this great river has not only witnessed the rise and fall of ancient civilizations, but also holds secrets that seem to defy human understanding. Yet, in recent times, an alarming phenomenon has been observed. Year after year, the once mighty Euphrates is receding. This persistent drying trend has begun to wreak havoc on the communities that depend on its waters, particularly in Western Asia, where millions now face the harsh reality of dwindling water supplies from a river that was once celebrated for its grandeur and life-sustaining properties. In a twist that might astonish even the most seasoned historians or environmental scientists, it appears that the nations through which the Euphrates flows are showing an unsettling indifference, or in some cases, an outright counterproductive stance toward efforts aimed at rejuvenating the river. Instead of uniting to address what many consider an impending environmental catastrophe, certain state actors seem to be complicit in policies that exacerbate the river's decline. One cannot help but wonder if there's a more profound significance to this environmental degradation than mere mismanagement or climatic fluctuation. Some scholars and theologians have posited a startling hypothesis. The drying up of the Euphrates might be intertwined with the fulfillment of ancient prophetic visions concerning the end times. This perspective finds its roots in biblical texts that describe dramatic transformations in the natural world as preludes to apocalyptic events. In particular, the book of Revelation contains passages that seem to connect the fate of the Euphrates with the ultimate showdown between the forces of good and evil, a final battle often referred to as Armageddon. According to these interpretations, the receding waters of this sacred river might serve as a harbinger of the imminent arrival of the Antichrist, setting the stage for a climactic confrontation between the divine army led by Jesus Christ and the demonic legions aligned with Satan. To fully grasp the magnitude of this issue, one must trace the Euphrates back to its biblical origins. In the opening chapters of Genesis, the river is depicted as one of the vital waterways that nourished the Garden of Eden. It is here that the waters of the Euphrates flowed through the paradise created by God, a divine habitat designed for Adam, Eve, and all the creatures that God had brought into being at the dawn of time. This portrayal not only emphasizes the river's life-giving qualities, but also imbues it with a deep spiritual resonance that persists to this day. Furthermore, Genesis 15 recounts that God himself designated the Euphrates as one of the boundaries of the Promised Land, intended for the descendants of Abraham. The scripture details a covenant in which the land stretching from the stream of Egypt all the way to the great river, the Euphrates, was promised to Abram's lineage. Geographically, the river originates in the highlands of what is now modern Turkey, meanders through the lands of Syria and Iraq, and ultimately empties into the Persian Gulf. Measuring approximately 2,700 kilometers, the Euphrates is not only a historical and cultural icon, but also a crucial lifeline. Its waters serve as the primary source of drinking water for millions of people, fuel agricultural irrigation, and even power hydroelectric plants that supply electricity to more than 1 million families across these nations. In stark contrast to its storied past and vital contributions to human prosperity, the present-day condition of the Euphrates is one of mounting despair. Recent observations by Iranian environmental authorities have noted a troubling pattern. Over the past 3 years, the rainy season in the river's catchment area has been delayed and cut short, leading to a dramatic reduction in water volume. In certain segments, the riverbed has turned to barren land, devoid of the once plentiful water that nourished both nature and civilization. This rapid desertification is not merely an ecological setback. It has ignited widespread alarm among local populations. In fact, a video that surfaced online captured a scene at one of these desiccated points along the Euphrates. One where the eerie echoes of what some claim to be demonic cries sent shockwave through the community, instilling fear in thousands of onlookers. The origin of these unsettling sounds has spurred a plethora of theories, ranging from natural acoustics to supernatural phenomena. Some accounts even suggest that these cries could be the anguished sounds of 4 fallen angels, demons imprisoned by God who, according to biblical prophecy, will be unleashed upon the world when certain conditions are met, as described in Revelation chapter 9. Returning to the more tangible aspects of the Euphrates decline, a growing chorus of scientists and environmental experts has identified not only climate change, but also mismanagement of water resources as critical factors contributing to the river's drying. Many experts argue that the policies adopted by governments along the river's course have been grossly inadequate, if not actively counterproductive. The debate extends to some bold claims suggesting that certain regional powers might, in fact, prefer the complete desiccation of the Euphrates for reasons that remain murky. What could be the potential gains from converting a once fertile riverine environment into an expanse of arid land? For some, the answer appears to lie within the framework of apocalyptic prophecy. The cessation of the river's flow is seen as a necessary precursor to the fulfillment of the biblical vision of Armageddon. According to these interpretations, the eventual vanishing of the Euphrates is more than just an environmental disaster. It is a pivotal element in a cosmic battle foretold in the scriptures. The prophecy suggests that when the river dries up completely, the kings of the east will traverse its desiccated bed to converge upon a site known as Megiddo, where they will assemble to wage war against the forces of righteousness, led by Christ's divine army. Revelation chapter 16 provides a vivid depiction of this scenario. It describes how, following the pouring out of the 6th bowl of divine judgment, the Euphrates will be completely drained, thereby clearing a path for the armies from the east. Subsequently, 3 unclean spirits, likened to frogs emerging from the mouths of the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet, will be dispatched to rally the rulers of the earth for a final, cataclysmic conflict. In this dramatic vision, the unleashing of these spirits is directly linked to the disintegration of the Euphrates waters and the ensuing mobilization of demonic forces, which are destined to decimate 1/3 of humanity through an army estimated at 200 million strong. The Apostle John's account further underscores the gravity of this prophetic sequence. As he narrates the events accompanying the sounding of the 6th trumpet, John recounts a heavenly command. The 4 angels who have been bound near the great river are to be released to exact divine retribution, culminating in the death of a significant portion of mankind. This apocalyptic imagery, replete with forebodings of mass destruction and celestial warfare, has led many to speculate that the ongoing environmental crisis might be more than a mere accident of nature. It could be an ominous sign that we are inching ever closer to the fulfillment of end-times prophecy. It is worth noting that while the overt signs of these biblical warnings might seem daunting, the message is not intended to incite fear without hope. Even as the specter of Armageddon looms large in the prophetic texts, there remains a message of redemption and salvation. The scriptures unequivocally affirm that despite the tumult and terror associated with the end times, the final victory belongs to Jesus Christ. According to the biblical narrative, the ultimate confrontation will see the forces of evil vanquished and cast into the lake of fire, a realm of eternal torment symbolized by sulfuric flames, ensuring that justice is served and the righteous are vindicated. For believers, this dual narrative of environmental decay and divine deliverance is a call to vigilance and spiritual preparedness. It is an invitation to re-examine one's life and to seek a path of righteousness amid a world increasingly beset by chaos and uncertainty. Rather than fixating solely on sensational rumors, such as those concerning the construction of a 3rd temple in Jerusalem or the anticipated signing of a global peace treaty preceding the rapture, it is far more crucial to recognize and respond to the signs that are unfolding in real time. The drying of the Euphrates is not an isolated incident. It is part of a broader tapestry of events that, together, signal profound changes on both a terrestrial and spiritual plane. Moreover, the current crisis should serve as a reminder that the forces driving these changes are not solely environmental, but also deeply rooted in the moral and political decisions of our time. The very policies that seem to hasten the decline of one of the world's most vital rivers may well be influenced by the spirit of opposition, a spirit that, according to biblical accounts, is already at work in the hearts of many world leaders. Although the figure of the Antichrist has not yet materialized in full, there is a pervasive sense that his influence is gradually permeating society, encouraging behaviors and decisions that undermine the natural order and pave the way for future calamities. In light of these events, the urgency to align one's life with spiritual truths becomes paramount. The Bible provides guidance for discerning true, divine influence from deceptive forces. As the Apostle John warned, you can test the spirits to see if they are from God. Every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, but every spirit that does not confess Jesus is not from God. This criterion serves as a critical benchmark for believers striving to remain steadfast in their faith amid a world that increasingly appears to be spiraling toward chaos. The prevailing message, therefore, is not one of doom, but of conscious choice. While the desiccation of the Euphrates and the broader environmental decline might be interpreted as forewarnings of an impending cosmic battle, they also offer an opportunity for individuals to reassess their lives, to seek refuge in the teachings of Christ, and to prepare spiritually for whatever the future may hold. The promise of eternal life in the New Jerusalem, a realm free from pain, suffering, and death, stands in stark contrast to the chaos that may lie ahead. It is a call to choose a path of righteousness and to trust that, ultimately, good will triumph over evil. I encourage you to reflect deeply on these revelations, to seek wisdom in ancient texts, and to consider the spiritual significance of the natural phenomena that surround us. Instead of succumbing to fear, let us use this moment as a catalyst for positive change, a call to action to preserve our environment, to govern with foresight, and to nurture the values that uphold human dignity and divine truth. May you find strength and guidance on your journey, and may the light of faith illuminate your path in these uncertain times. If this message resonates with you, please consider sharing it with your friends and family, subscribing to this channel for more daily insights rooted in biblical knowledge, and joining in prayer as we collectively seek to align our lives with the eternal promises of hope and redemption. May God's blessing be upon you abundantly, and may His guidance sustain you as we navigate the challenges of our age together.